So, I do have a registered company. The company itself has a specific structure in that Lesotho allows one company name or brand to have multiple different licenses. So I have a number of different licenses underneath one company. One of those licenses is a space manufacturing, a rocket manufacturing company. My understanding of how people or from tribal lands, that is the more ethnic worlds where society is not as technologically advanced and racially mixed, that is places outside of the US, the UK, the homelands where people come from, which are typically lesser developed or upcoming economies of some or the other sort, middle, low, whatever type of income. Um, the the type of business someone would then do to then be a part of the space industry would be in auxiliary manufacturing. That is to manufacture the smaller parts of very large space rockets, such as the ones made by SpaceX or Blue Origin. So one would be making all the ones made in China or Italy and by the European countries. So this would be, for examples, manufacturing of the panels, the heat panels. It would be the manufacturing of maybe software. It would be so the manufacturing may be hardware or software. So I'm gonna continue on with the hardware portion, which would again, if we continue, it might be the manufacturing of the packaging of locks, the manufacturing of steel, the manufacturing of rockets, that is the combustion engine rockets, or the manufacturing of electrical rockets, which nobody has made so far. The theories would come from the industry, which relies on the technology known as Hall thrusters or plasma thrusters, as seen in the movie, the first episode, not chronologically, but the first episode of the Enterprise, of how Earth in the year 2063 became a spacefaring race, according to the movie Star Trek. This does not mean our trajectory is 2063. We may as well find the technology exists next week or next year. So, electrical propulsion rockets or technologies, that would be an auxiliary product. Perhaps the manufacturing of small rockets that would then be reshaped into small space planes or spaceships, or the parts of those spaceships, the phalanges, if they will still exist, the wings, the chopsticks from the stand during launching at SpaceX and in China space program. There are, or the satellites themselves, there are a number of things that a company can make even if they aren't in the thick of things or feel that they're not able to receive the funding to start a full-fledged rocket company, which is a lot of R&D at a lot of levels to manufacture such a big machine. So one can start at a smaller scale or from a smaller vantage point. In terms of software, it depends if companies are willing to take developers as freelancers, as LLCs. Currently, they absorb all of their coders into companies, into their own companies or companies that are auxiliary, such as XAI. But I suppose it's no longer relevant with the merger that's going to happen or undergoing. This simply underpins the idea that the industry itself is expansive. One can be involved once you let go of the idea that you have to have that large company. It's like saying you want to have a General Motors. You don't have to. You can make the wheels, you can produce the doors, you can produce the handles, you can produce all sorts of things, the upholstering. And that is the same for these spaceships. They do require, for those that are going to carry people, such as the Dragon, which is the capsule that carries astronauts, it requires upholstering. The suits that are made, they require to be upgraded. So the oxygen ventilation system, there is no gravity machine. There is no type of teleporting technology as the one we've seen where people beam out in Star Trek. There is no synthesizer of food, and thus there are no fridges, and we need fridges. We need plates, we need cupboards inside of these theoretical starships that take humans. We need the ability to grow plants, to cook. We need some kind of electrical source. We need the same creature comforts that we have here, and that is industry on its own. There are a number of things that need to be made. The warp machinery or technology needs to be developed. The shield around starships needs to be developed. The cloaking mechanism needs to be developed. It has not been. There are so many things that haven't been developed. The type of alloy metal that's going to be used in the actual very large Star Trek type ships, the type that take a 400-person crew, the welding flux that can be used there that will not set the whole ship alight. It speaks volumes of what the industry is and can be. And once you expand your mind away from the idea of just these large, massive companies that are the central economy or the inceptor in this modern age, we can all make money, have a way in, and find ourselves thriving within the industry. We don't all have to be coders. That is not the most important thing. It is an important thing, and it's very labor intensive and it's very talent intensive. But there are others that have not been made, and they are talent intensive as well. And they don't mean that you have to go back to university and learn physics. It has a lot to do with using lateral skills, which might be thought of as soft skills from a different industry, into this industry in order to develop these new technologies, holographic technologies, types of video, the ability to communicate from one planet to the other. We don't have that. We don't have satellites that have gone that far. So you cannot even talk about having a mobile network on Mars. Even if somebody goes there, they're going to be cut off and they can very well just die. We cannot even see this other place. We cannot even see the moon because we don't just have a satellite there and somebody can send can take pics and send them via social media. Just the idea of having social media off planet alone brings ideas about what business can one do exclusively in that beginning of industry at that level or outside of Earth.